Welcome to the Nonsense in the Chaos. I'm your host, Jolie Rose. In true Mercury retrograde style, I actually already recorded this podcast and then went to go and edit it this evening and discovered that it's just not there. No trace of it whatsoever. I remember doing it. I spent ages testing the sound and everything, and it's just not there. And I've gone back several times going, hang on, this must just be me. It must be there. And it's not. I've looked 3 times now and it's definitely not there. So that's not a bad thing because I made it while I was extremely tired and it was so convoluted. I think it was probably not actually worth using anyway. So I don't think it ended up being the end of the world. That was lost. But I just think it's interesting that we are in such a tumultuous time in terms of astrology that has been harkening back to and nodding to and connected to all of the craziness of last year. So I can't even remember it all because it's so much. There's so much. But all of the 360 years since, and 36 years, so 36 years ago was the Berlin Wall coming down, I believe. And then 360 years ago was all the revolutions, and that's linked to Neptune and Pluto and Uranus. So they're the slower moving planets, and all of them are in difficult places. Pisces, a lot of them are in. Pisces is really detrimental for a lot of these planets. They don't do well in Pisces, and I think it's Trump. I think all three, like Trump, Nefer, whatever his name is, the Israeli guy, and then the Iranian guy that got killed. All 3 of them had Aries and Pisces, which is not a good place to have Aries and Pisces because it means that you have the aggression of Aries, which is the war, but you've got like the secretive, underhand kind of, very much to do with like dark secrets of Pisces. So, strangely enough, that seems to show up with what's going on. And then all of these planets have recently been in Pisces. I always find Pisces season really difficult. I've actually found it a lot easier this time, but almost because the world's been so doing it for me. Like the world's been so at odds that I haven't felt as at odds myself. But so many things happened with the eclipse. This was what I was going on about in my last recording of the podcast. So many things happened with the eclipse. It was just bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. Also, loads of babies. Like I spent all weekend hanging out with a multitude of babies, which was lovely. So it's also new hope and new life. There is something positive going on here too. And by the time you listen to this, it will be Friday. And on Friday, we will have had the new moon in Pisces the night before on the 29th degree. So that's the last degree of the sign before it then went into Aries. And Aries is so fiery and go-getting and such a change of pace after being in Pisces. We just had Pisces with a Mercury retrograde in Pisces during an eclipse season. That was vicious. I don't know if you noticed. It was vicious. And that eclipse, Third World War, we had all sorts of mad stuff kick off over here in the Channel Islands. It was really a lot. There was an awful lot just happened. And you always have to trust, because it was Virgo, the eclipse was in Virgo. It's about letting go of being a perfectionist and getting it right and thinking you know it all. And that definitely came through with the things that happen. And it's trusting the process. I just had a really interesting creation hibernation session. So it was our last creation hibernation session this evening. And there was only 2 people who were able to come along. And I'm really wish I had more time to write. So I've been working on Walking with Autumn for years now. It's been a few years and it's been finished for quite a while, but I've kept working on it. And actually, I'm so happy with the new edit that I've done on it. It feels just ready now. It feels really ready now. Now I've got a feeling that I will be able to get this now published, which would be great. And I'm really looking forward to that happening because I'm really pleased with it. I'm proud as punch with it. But I only managed to get halfway through editing it. And I don't know when I'm next going to have a chance to open those pages because everything's just kicking off. just did our last creation hibernation session, and it was really wonderful, and just was talking about geomancy, which is actually weirdly one of my most popular podcasts in the back catalogue. Yeah, I was thinking I might actually start saying to people, if you've not listened to this podcast before, that it's worth listening to it from the start, because it does unfold a story to some extent. There's very much at the start, especially, there was quite a lot of weird coincidences and revelations that tied into each other, but also that, yeah, there has been a kind of journey and a story with it to some extent. And one of the ones that is most popular is the geomancy one. And with that, I talk about how it started with sisterhood, and then I've been going on the pilgrimages, and Moxie, who's my dear friend who does the music for this show, actually, she's our wonderful musician who's put together the sound idents and the intro and outro for this. She asked me about, do I feel like when I do the pilgrimages, afterwards I feel more receptive to things happening, because amazing miracles happen after each of my pilgrimages, especially the really difficult ones. And I was saying, actually, it's not that. I do actually feel like when I do the pilgrimage, it's with intention. And as time's gone on and I've realised that I'm a geomancer, I hadn't even heard of that word until I already was one, and have learned more about it. But look, without reading, I've literally never read a thing about geomancy. I've only been told the meaning of the word and then felt into it myself. And I kind of do that with most of my magical practice. I'm not trained at all. And for me, that feels like the right way to do it, because I know I have read books on Wicca. There's been like some books that I've read, and druidic practices and more esoteric Crowley type practices, and I've looked into them and read about them, or followed people who are teachers online, and got my head around the sort of structures that do exist. And brilliant, they're useful tools and all the rest of it. But I wherever possible, I like to find things out myself or experience them myself. So with the pilgrimages, I never read the books. There's books based on both of the routes that I walk, and I've never read them. Loads of people around me have, and so I hear snippets of it all the time, and I get told bits and bobs. But it means that I've encountered the lines and the experience of each location and atmosphere of each place just completely as my own reading of it, my own take of it. And it's bizarre when them things correlate or connect with what was written down or some perceived wisdom. It's really cool, because it means I feel more belief in it. I feel more like, okay, that's been sort of almost scientifically proven to me. Whereas if I read it, I'd be looking for it. And so therefore it wouldn't really necessarily be anything more than placebo, possibly. But actually with most things to do with the dragon lines and the pilgrimage and my experience of the energy lines, is all been from my own experience first, and then afterwards learning about it and going, yep, that fits with what I was experiencing. So I find that really interesting. And yeah, she was asking about whether I feel like I'm more receptive to these miracles coming to me after a pilgrimage. And I was like, I actually feel like I'm giving the earth a massage, like an intentional massage, and giving it love and doing this work that isn't even necessarily particularly conscious. I'm just doing it, and it's leading me, and I'm being of service. And then when I come back, miracles take place, but I'm not expecting them. I'm not expecting anything in return. I already got so much out of it, but it also took a lot out of me. It is exhausting, and especially when you get a hard one. I've had 3 hard ones and 2 easier ones. They're all hard, but there were 3 that were particularly hard, and those ones were the ones where I got the biggest sort of thank you gifts, and that's what it feels like. It feels like a thank you gift. But what I was just saying to Moxie is, it doesn't mean that I don't think that those thank you gifts don't necessarily come with some strings attached. So I think it's really interesting that the first pilgrimage led me to move to Sark and introduced me to Dizzle. The second pilgrimage led to us getting married. And then this pilgrimage, which was one of the hardest ones I've ever done, came back, and just this house has just sort of absolutely popped out of nowhere. And it's in the valley of the strongest energy line in Sark. And so I've got this real feeling that I need to just be open to what it wants me to do. So I'm not going there going, right, we're gonna do this, this is what the house is gonna be, we're gonna run this, I'm like, there's loads of things I want to do, like loads of things like decorating and growing vegetables and fruit and keeping bees, just painting it absolutely mad, multicoloured, bright colours, which I can't wait. And I'm really looking forward to being able to make a place our own. It's not even a dream come true, because I didn't even dream that this would happen. And it's such an interesting thing to have happened when I've been challenging myself with money. So if you have been listening to this podcast, you'll know that money's been a huge block for me, and I've been trying to overcome it, and that's been the thing I've been working on. And then this has happened, and it's changed everything. And it's so weird that I'm like, oh, I love the fact that it's been recorded and that you've gone and witnessed this happening. Because I'm like, that just happened, didn't it? Okay. Thank you, pilgrimage. Thank you, Michael and Mary Lines. And yeah, what is it that they want me to do there? Because they've taken me here, they've taken me to here, they've taken me to Diz, they've taken me to this valley, and now I'm going to be on the Port de Moulin energy line, living in the forest next to a stream, in the trees, on an energy line. And I'm like, cool. Okay, what do you want me to do? I'm up for it, whatever it is. So yeah, we're at a turning point. We've got the new moon, and that's shifted everything. So let go. We can let go of everything. The Friday when this comes out, Mercury stations direct. We've had a new moon in Pisces on the 29th degree, so that's a real like ending of something. And then we've gone into the Aries season and spring equinox. Awesome. That is a reset. Now, it doesn't mean that the war's going to end or whatever. In fact, actually, I think the planets are doing something that would suggest there's going to be another big wave of information released. So there possibly might be some other big news thing on Friday that just like floods the way that the Epstein did. Oh God, I can't remember what it was. My brain isn't working very well at the moment. And this is why the last podcast I made was A, awful, and B, disappeared. Because I am putting on Beltane in 6 weeks, and before that, I am putting on the immersion weekend this weekend, which I'll get back to in a second. And then I'm going to be a celebrant at my friend's wedding in Jersey. And then I'm going to be doing Easter stuff, doing events for Easter, and then moving house. And then putting on a festival and decorating the house. So I'm a little bit like, but I'm doing all right. I'm in a really good place. And yeah, I didn't actually find Pisces. It was weird, actually. Pisces with Mercury retrograde almost cancelled each other out to an extent, because I do find Pisces season really difficult. But I feel on top of it. I feel as on top of it as I can be, considering all that's going on. And I feel really settled in the community. I feel really connected. Me and Diz are getting on great. Yeah, I just feel like not on tenterhooks with the community, which is probably the first time I felt that in the whole 5 years I've lived here. There's always been this like, oh, I don't really fit in with a group, or I don't, and I don't have any FOMO, and I just feel I'm part of the family now, and I feel really connected and appreciated and supported, and just not bothered about whatever dynamics are going on, or it feels okay. So that feels good. And the immersion weekend this weekend for Ostara, which I've never done before. I normally do Imbolc and Samhain, but I think we'll be doing Ostara from now on, because Imbolc doesn't really work because Helen's always away in Thailand and she wants to rent the house out for the whole time that she's away. So yeah, I can't really do Imbolc if she's doing that. Our Ostara will be our new immersion offering, and it's a brilliant time of year. I love Imbolc because it's like the earliest drips of magic, and it is such a like powerful, like, oh my god, spring's starting to show itself. But this is spring equinox. I mean, come on, this is mega. And egg magic is the most powerful magic I know. I absolutely love egg magic, and that's what we're going to be working with this weekend, and what we'll be working with the immersion, with the immersion ladies, and also at the Easter celebrations that I'm doing with the kids. And then I'll be doing an Ostara ceremony on Easter weekend. So if anyone wants to come to that, because the Ostara immersion is absolutely full. It's 12 of us, which is mad because it's normally 6. And so it's going to be interesting doing it with double the amount of people. And it's really heartwarming to just, have people want to come and do it. It makes you feel very special, and that you're doing the right thing and that it's landing with people. And it's a really great group of women. I can't wait to spend this time with them. And it'll be really good to just have a reset. And bless Diz and his brother are going to be moving the house while I'm there, like pampering myself all weekend, having a lovely time. And then it'll just be like moving the furniture. I mean, it's going to take more than just one weekend of moving. We're going to be moving for a while, but it would be nice that some stuff will be moved, and I think we'll be able to spend our first night in the house. And I need to sage the hell out of it. There's loads of monk ghosts that hang out in the valley, and there's a little girl that watches you through the gate. There's even a photo of said little girl watching through the gate, and it is pretty bloody scary. So yeah, I'm going to do a lot of smudging and just saying hi, and we're your new neighbours, and we're going to be here forever. So it'd be nice to get to know you and be friends. And it's mad because it's right next to the site where we hold Beltane, next to the Seigneury, and so we're going to be able to literally like just keep the Beltane stuff at our house and then just put it in the space like next door, just like literally straight through. And it is like we can see the Wicker Man from our garden where we have the Wicker Man. So it's really strange that this has ended up happening. It feels very connected. It all feels ordained. It's preordained somehow. So yeah, so big reset. Everyone take whatever we can when there are things that are positive, because so much is negative in the world at the moment. And it's a really interesting saying that I heard earlier, which is we've got nothing to lose and we will lose everything if we don't do something about what is going on at the moment. So there needs to be a huge movement against war and a huge insistence on justice for victims of the Epstein Island horror. People need to be held to account and need to be brought to justice, and democracy needs to be fought for. We can't just take it for granted and take so much to gain and then moments to lose, and we're losing it. It's being lost, and we need to fight for it, and this is the moment, and we were all put here to be here for this moment, to do this work, to let's get on with it. We are actually going to be making history in our lifetimes. In this next chunk of time, we're going to be making history. And which side were you on? You need to speak out. I had a funny argument with my great aunt-in-law yesterday at the dinner table because she started going on about immigrants in the UK. And like, she's lived in Sark her whole life. It's like, there aren't any immigrants here. It's literally nothing to do with you. You've got nothing to complain about whatsoever. And I'm from England, and I can tell you that the numbers haven't gone up since Brexit. They've gone down. And we've lost all the useful immigrants. We've lost the working professional and, do the bloody shit veg picking jobs and stuff. We've lost like our useful working immigrants. We've lost the student immigrants that made education affordable. So now it's become completely unaffordable. People like me wouldn't be able to afford to go to university now because the fees have all gone up because we haven't got any foreign students anymore. So the immigrants that everyone's talking about are the ones that are desperate. And so it doesn't matter what rules and stuff you put in place. If they're willing to risk their lives to get on a boat to come over, it's not going to matter what new legislation you've put in. And that's the same as when they changed squatting and they made squatting illegal. All you did was get rid of the socially conscious squatters, because the heroin addict squatters who, are going to be shitting in the corner and accidentally burn the place down when they're off their head on heroin are going to be doing that anyway. They don't care if it's illegal or not. Like, really not on their radar. The people that stopped squatting that you got rid of were the socially conscious squatters who set up libraries and community centres and were active members of the community. And that was really sad, because that's what allowed me to get off the ground as an artist, was that I was able to squat in my 20s, because I didn't have that pressure of rent, and I was able to just experiment, and I had space and time to just play. That's what got me off the ground as an artist. And then we lost all of that, and now generations don't even know about that whole world. That's not even something they've heard of. And with immigrants, you've got two types of immigrants that are useful and needed and important and massive asset to the country, and then you've got desperate human beings who are in need of help. And if you're willing to put yourself in that position, you need help. And so all you're doing is being shitty to the most vulnerable, desperate, just like, what are we? Why are we like this? Why are we being like this? And my aunt is a really nice person. It's just where she's being sold the story through the news. They've just, they've hooked her in. And she's still, because she doesn't get told, no one ever tells her what's what, and I did yesterday. And apparently she's still fussing about it today. She saw Dizzle earlier and she was like, well, I don't agree with what she said about it. I was like, well, I'm going to come at you with some facts and figures, auntie. I'm going to be digging out information resources and sending it all over to her and just be like, well, actually, you will find. So it's important that we challenge people, because what's been let loose is that it's okay to be awful. It's okay to be fascist. It's okay to be a bully. It's all right to be a meathead. It's all right to be an extremist. And that you have permission to be violent. You have permission to be saying the most awful things. And you don't. And people need to put them back in their boxes. Go, absolutely not. Sorry, you don't get to say that. And just, we all sit there awkwardly and not say anything. We have to be strong. We have to have spines. We have to stand up for what we believe in, because if you don't, then you are letting it happen. You are part of the problem if you're not part of the solution. You have to stand up to this stuff. And I know it's not comfortable and I know it's not easy, but we're being called to. You are here alive at this time because you have something worth contributing. You're an asset and we need you, and you are needed. Believe in yourself. Don't worry if you haven't got all the facts and the figures and the names and all the rest of it. Like I don't. I'm so useless at this sort of thing. It's just, in your heart, and it's not even just that I know in my heart. I also know from my research. I know that it's true. It's just I'm just so bad at remembering these things, especially because I'm going through the menopause, which I definitely am. I've got HRT, which I'm really excited about. It's been a big old journey because the doctor tested for everything else first, which I'm really glad he did, because we found out that I've got a underactive thyroid in my brain, which is actually possibly a symptom of women with ADHD going through the menopause might end up with underactive and overactive thyroids. There seems to be a correlation. And so I started taking the medication for that, and it did make a huge difference, but I could tell I was still not on steady ground. It was still not right. And then my cycle started going weird and I started bleeding like all month long. And I was like, look, okay, I'm definitely going through the menopause. Can I also try HRT? And he gave it to me and I've been taking it and it's been great, but it has been actually making my sleep bad, weirdly, because the menopause is meant to mess up your sleep, and then progesterone helps to make you sleep. But last night I was up all night, literally couldn't sleep all night. That's annoying. So I don't know what that's about, but hopefully it will just sort itself out, and it will, it's only been like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, but I feel much better. Like I feel so much better and clearer headed and all the rest of it. But yes, I am prone to even being more forgetful than I was before. I swapped my memory for fun many years ago. I did. So yeah, it's been a crazy time, and just give yourself lots of love and hugs, because we're going through horror. Like, this is horror, and we know that it's also noise to try and distract us from justice that will be served. It will be served. They will be held to account. It's coming, whether they like it or not. And yeah, then mass movement against war. It's all to fight for. So let's see what the universe wants me to talk about. If you enjoy this podcast, then please consider supporting me on Patreon, which is patreon.com/Jolie Rose. I love doing this podcast. It's an absolute privilege to be here with you every week. I love that you listen to me. Thank you for listening. It's just such an honour, and I do feel like I'm on a journey with you, and I love sharing my world and the people I know. I just, humans are fascinating, and there are so many fascinating people out there, and I want to keep cracking them open and going, oh, let's have a look inside. And I love that you're along for the ride and want to do that with me. And I love that you listen to my ramblings and that you come with me on my adventures. I really enjoy doing it. It's such a fab way to connect with an audience and with people as an artist. I love it. So thank you for being here. And if you enjoy it, then please do support me. If you're an Apple person, please sign up on the internet, on the website, rather than on your phone. And If you're not able to afford to support me, then just share word of mouth, tell people about it, review it, that kind of thing. All of that's really helpful, but definitely tell people about it. And got lots of things coming up. We've got Beltane on Saturday the 2nd of May. Get your tickets for that. It's going to be incredible. It's turned into like a mega healing festival. There's loads of healing offers. I'm going to, looking forward to it. I'm going to come out of that feeling very zen, which would be nice. We have loads of things happening for Easter, like the Ostara ceremony. That'll be on the Saturday night over the Easter weekend. So if you want to come along, book that. There's a dark sky stargazing meal the weekend after. And that's all of these are online. If you Google Skiddle or you Google Dark Skies Dinner Sark, then it'll come up. And yeah, that's going to be with an astro guide guiding whilst you're eating a fabulous picnic with Grand Fru caterers, making a bespoke rustic picnic, and you're going to be sitting on picnic blankets looking up at the stars. It's going to be awesome. And we're doing a Easter egg hunt over Easter and painting eggs. And then got the Ostara immersion weekend this weekend, but that's fully booked. Yeah, loads of stuff is happening. It feels like everything's just kicking off. So keep following, keep watching this space. My book will be out soon. I can feel it in my bones. So I'll let you know when it does. But keep following. And thank you so much for being here. Now on with the show. Well, there you go. It's the blank rune. I don't pull that very often. It's a special one. It's for me like pulling the Fool. So it's blank. On my blank rune, I paint a silver circle on it. And it's a bit like the 0 of the Fool, the O. And that is the infinity symbol untwisted. So that the inner and outer are one and we're all one. And it is what everything just keeps coming back to. I mean, I do repeat myself a little bit in that we are all one, and this revolution, this game, this movement that is required is bigger than Trump. It's bigger than the Epstein files. It's bigger than war. It's bigger than the outer world. It is us reconnecting with the inner world and spirit and soul and the spirit and soul of the land, and remembering where we're from, remembering what we are, opening up to the expansiveness of what is possible, our inner world getting as much value and credence as the outer world gets, and for us to just remember that we're all one with each other, with the nature. The whole universe is one thing. It is the blank rune. It's the circle. That this circle of silver is the universe, and we're all in it. The whole thing, the whole universe was the size of a melon, and it popped and blew up, and it's the Big Bang, and everything that's in it was in that melon. And our consciousness was in that melon. Every atom, every star, every thought, every breath, every drop of piss, everything is all in that melon that then blew up. And it's the torus. We are a donut with a bunch of sphincters in the middle that make the torus like the figure of 8. And we slip through this sphincter between the inner and outer worlds, like you slip through to sleep, or, your imagination and your inner world, and then death. And you're happiest when you've untwisted that twist and you are a big open circle and your inner and outer are one. And that happens when you're in creative flow, when you're making love, when you're not thinking, basically. You're in the moment and you're creating, and your inner and outer world are just flowing. And yeah, you're in love, you're watching a sunset, whatever it is, you're just there in the moment and you're being present. And it's the most glorious place to be. And we could be living like that. You can't live like it all the time, because it's a bit like just, you need the opposite experience to give both of them their shape, their shade. You can't just always be happy. You need sadness for the happiness to mean anything. You can't just always, if you're always happy, then you're not happy, because that's just normal. That's just every day. So you need both of the extremes so that you can feel their depth and you can feel the shape of them. That's what being alive is. When we go back to the next life, that's not there. The separation isn't there. We go back to being all one when we're dead in the inner world. We go back to being all one. And there's no conflict, there's no separation, there's no desire, there's no need, which is very nice. But we're here to be alive, to experience want and need and conflict and separation. And that separation is the experience of life. And it's a ride, it's a journey, it's a play that we come and participate in, and who knows why or what that's about. But and it's not like nature's not all fluffy and lovely. It comes with all sorts of horrors, and so does life. It's not, who knows why this is happening, but for some people their experience of being here is just horrific, and we're really privileged to be in a position where we're not having horrific, horrible experiences. But if you are in a position where you're lucky enough to be safe, then I think that life is more valuable and worth living if you're using that place of privilege to fight for people that are less privileged than you. Not to just sit around and just be like, oh, lucky old me, I'm just going to sit here on my chaise long and eat grapes all day. Absolutely enjoy a moment of that, because again, like the shades, you've got pleasure and you've got pain, and you need to experience the pleasure and you need to appreciate the pleasure, and then do what you can to fight pain for other people. See if you can help other people to get on a chaise long and eat some grapes. It's pulling everyone else up as well. Doing what you can to pull people up. This is such a opportunity to be the best thing you've ever been, to be the best version of yourself, to do incredible things. Be the person that hid the family in your attic. Be the person that smuggled people through the checkpoint in the car. Be the person that kept squirreling food away and shared your last bit of bread. And be that person. Be the person that people are going to talk about in 50 years' time, about what a courageous, awesome human you were because of all the lovely, bloody great things you did, and the people that are grateful for what you did, and then you're grateful for what you learnt from them, because these things are always two-way. You do what you can for people, and it's just miracles are abounding everywhere. We are surrounded by them. Don't look at the Trump, don't look at the noise, and just see that. Be on top of it, be aware of it, know what's going on, but just don't let them control you. Don't let them control the narrative. Don't let them create your world for you. You create your own world, and you create them into facing justice and getting their comeuppance, which is going to happen. So the blank rune basically means anything is possible. It's up to us to create it. Create or be created. You will create a better world. That's what we're here to do. It's a competition of imagination. Get your imagination muscles pumping. Imagine an incredible, beautiful world. Imagine justice. Imagine fairness. Imagine gentleness and kindness and love. And challenge racism and bigotry and small-mindedness and nastiness and cruelty and bullying. Challenge it. And challenge it in yourself. And just keep at it, because this is such an opportunity. We are in a moment in time that has edge. It's real. This is a real moment in time. We knew all our clothes came from sweatshops, and we knew our chicken eggs came from battery farming, and we knew it was all icky, but everything was too nice. We're all just having a nice time, and we could ignore it. And I hated it. I hated that. I hated feeling like that. I was at Secret Garden Party once, and I just remember looking at everyone. I was like, God, everyone's wanking and no one's watching. Everyone thinks they're the fucking lead character in their own movie, and no one's the audience. No one's watching. It's just everyone wanking off at each other. And I started to feel sick, and I nearly threw up just because I was so repulsed by just how vacuous and fake what we were doing was. Just we know that this is all at someone's expense, and we're all just prancing around in unicorn onesies like fucking God's gift to the... What are we doing? And then now it's okay, this is real. This is fight between good and evil. This is fight for what you believe in. This is justice. This is a turning point in history. It will be remembered in 50 years' time, in 100 years' time. We'll be talking about this moment in time. What were you doing? What was your contribution? What did you challenge? What did you stand up for? What did you help create? what were you doing in this time? Were you one of the people who, like, you know, you look back on Nazi Germany and the Nazis coming along, and there were people who were actually all for it and were supporting it, and there were people who put their necks on the line, and they're the ones that we're reading about now, who we're just blown away by how brave and heroic they were. Be one of them. That's what you want to do. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be someone that's, oh God, it was a bit embarrassing because actually they let that fascist situation happen and they were just like, oh yeah, there's a concentration camp down the road, but you know, I just turn a blind eye to it and carry on life as normal. So don't really want to be one of those. I'm not up for that, actually. So don't be that. Be one of the people that sticks their neck on the line and stands up for vulnerable people and people not so lucky as you, and animals and beings and all things that aren't as lucky as you, and do what you can to help. Rah, rah, rah. So there you go, that's my rant. So now for my Chaos Crusade. So this week's Chaos Crusade is to do some egg magic. I would like you, over the weekend, especially because it is Ostara, to get an egg and to get some old tights, some tanned tights, and get some plants, a flower, some sort of nice patterned plant, put it around the egg, and then put it in the tight, and then tie the tights tight, and then put it in some water with some vinegar and your choice of dyeing materials. So there's like red onion skins works really well, yellow onion skins works, red cabbage. So put some of that in and boil it, and then it will colour your egg and you'll get a lovely pattern of whatever flowers or plant life you've put in there. And then dry that off, and then you get Sharpie, and with different coloured Sharpies, decorate your egg, make it look as beautiful as you can, like just do something lovely, but write something on there that's an intention. And this is doing egg magic. So it works so well. It's the most powerful out of all the magic stuff I've ever done. I was working with egg magic for a while, and I kept writing boundaries on my egg because I had such weak boundaries. I really did. I really couldn't deal with conflict at all. It just absolutely froze me with fear. I just couldn't do it. And I realised it was because when the Me Too thing happened, I realised it was because I had this fuck off huge volcano of anger behind me because of people getting away with bloody doing horrible things, and things had happened to me, and I just suppressed it. And because society had told me that's what I was meant to do, I hadn't noticed that it had made this giant volcano of fury behind me. And so I couldn't ever stand up to anyone or say anything because I just was worried that this volcano was going to blow up and I was going to just blow up all over them. So everything was like, would just set me off into tears, and everything just felt like it was on boiling point the whole time, and that I would just like burst into tears or just lose it if ever I had to stand up for anything. And went through this process of eating these eggs. So what you do is you write the word on it or do it with images, symbols, and you decorate it really beautifully, and then you crack the egg and then you eat the egg with intention. And as you're eating it, you feel it going in and nourishing you. Or you can keep the egg decorated and keep it as a talisman on your altar, and they last. I've got some eggs that I've decorated that I've had for years. They just, I mean, obviously don't let them break because they'll be stinky, but they don't start smelling through the shell. Or you can do the spell where you eat it like when they're fresh still, and it just, yeah, you just feel it nourishing you and filling you with whatever it is that you're creating. And I went away to Australia with a theatre company with a guy that I'd worked with before. And he was just like, oh, you've got much clearer boundaries these days, Jodie. I was like, wow, that's amazing. You literally have said the thing that I was working on as a spell. So that's really cool. So for me, I just think it does really work. It's such a clear intention setting bit of magic. And doing it over Ostara, and especially with this fresh chapter where we've just like cleared and dispelled all that nonsense that's just been going on, there's an opportunity for something new to begin, and to imbibe yourself with that, whatever it is you want to create with this egg, being brave, whatever it is, just going for it, being creative, being brave, being imaginative, whatever you want to put on that egg. And then, yeah, feed yourself with it and fill yourself up with it, or put it on your altar and let the magic unfold, because it will. Ostara is very powerful, spring is very powerful, and egg magic is very powerful. Thank you ever so much for being here. I'll see you next week. I've got an amazing guest next week. I can't wait to share with you. I'm hoping the sound quality is okay. I've got to edit it still. He had very bad internet connection, but hopefully it was better than it seemed like, because when we're streaming, it always seems worse than when you actually listen back to it. So fingers crossed. But it was a great interview and I can't wait to share, but we'll see how it goes. So thank you for being here. Huge love. Happy Ostara. Happy spring equinox. I'll see you on the other side. Much love. See thee anon.